Are you in a new setting?
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay, it's recording. Yeah, this is my grandparents' house.
Okay, I figured that's where you were. I was like, I ain't never ever seen that.
Yeah, it's my house now. But yeah, I don't even know what this painting is, but it's the only like clear wall space around. Um, yeah, this house is kind of weird, but
Is it like an antique house? Like, is it
yeah.
like Southern Plantation vibe or like
What? What did you say?
Southern Plantation
Oh,
vibe?
I thought that's what you said. No, nah. I mean, it's just like a house where, I mean, the people that were born or living in this house were born in the 20s, 1920s, 1930s.
Mhm.
So, um, they were the generation that grew up like in the Great Depression.
Okay.
So they like, what was it? The stereotype with them is that they hoarded everything. Is that the term? They
Yes,
just,
because my grandma like that. Like when I go to her house in Little Rock, I'd be like, Grandma, why you got stuff piled up on top of stuff? Like it don't make no sense.
like there's never just one of something.
No,
There's like five or six of them.
the minimum for them is like 5. If it,
hmm Like there's like 8 canes over here on the floor. 8 of them. Why did my granddad need 8 canes? And they all look the same ish.
hey, he was pimping. He said he had one for every day of the week, and then one.
Yeah. So yeah, and it kind of rubbed off on my parents as well a little bit. They're, you've been in my house. It's like the same, like pictures everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first time I walked through like the hallway, I was like, "Can this house breathe?" Like,
Yeah. It cannot. Um, yeah, it cannot. So, like, I'm like a organized, what do you call it?
you're a minimalist.
Yeah, that type of thing. And it like bothers me whenever like something is unorganized. OCD,
Things
OCD. That's what it's
OCD.
called. So I literally have this is a big table right here. So I just claim it. Like this is where I am 99% of the time. And like this is my part of the house. It has to be extremely clean. So I have to have some type of organization because everything else in this house is just like messy. Not messy, just too much. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I actually like they have a record
A record
box.
player. A record
Yeah,
player.
it's like OG, yeah, record player, and they have all these records like old, like Michael Jackson's, Willie Nelson's, Beatles. My uncle's kind of like that dude back then, but yeah, it's like, man, I'm like living in the 1940s, 50s type of thing. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, but it's temporary. It saves a lot of money. So again, an apartment in Lubbock, but yeah, yeah, I was out and about, seeing a roommate yesterday, last night. Um, Old roommate. Um,
The one that reminded me of. The one that reminds you of me. Please don't
yeah,
tell me.
yeah, that
Uh,
dude. Yep, yep. Yeah, so it's kind of cool seeing him. But yeah, it's just like there's only one bar really, really open. Um, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Definitely more Dallas trips in the future. But
so was that one bar packed last night?
I didn't go, but like every time you pass it, it's just like the lines are just so long, and they're longer than like what normal lines were at Broadway, our bars last year,
Mm-hmm.
like double that. So it's like if you don't get there by 10:30, you're gonna be waiting in line for a couple hours. Like, yeah, if you try to go there at 11, you're gonna get in like at 1, and it's not even worth it at that moment at that time. So it's like the bars we're at last weekend. It's just like I'm not gonna wait an hour or 2 hours.
You ain't trying to pay $400.
No, I am not. Like it is, I can live without it.
Your
Like
reaction when she said $100 per person, she said,
I
"Whoa."
was like, I'm out. Like, nah, you don't even deserve a response to that. Yeah, that was Yeah, that's one of those money buys things, type of things. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. All right, so Shop Podcast, episode 80. Um, Whatever. First things first. Did you get the Travis Scott burger?
No, Cactus Jack hasn't sent me yet.
He hasn't sent you yet. Dang.
Have you?
No, I'm not. I don't even like McDonald's.
You
I'm
know,
not gonna. Travis Scott's not gonna give me to go to McDonald's. But I just love all the videos of people just like, you know why I'm here, and then they just like play sicko mode really loud. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. Let's see, real quick. I've been seeing this tweet kind of surfacing around, and it's that basketball player. His name is Mikey. He's like one
the
of the,
one talking about go to
yeah,
prom.
yeah.
I'm over him. I'm over him.
Why him?
He's just too much. Like, I respect his dedication, his grind, but like it's almost coming off as forced.
Yeah.
Talking about I ain't gonna go to the prom. I'm gonna live it up whenever I'm making all that stuff. I'm like, bro, you overthinking prom. It's prom.
But we were kind of like that in high school too, like a little bit like that. Like I understand, it's a high school kid. Like I, I understand, but you know, in high school we're all like, yeah, we're gonna work hard, and we're gonna be millionaires in our 30s. You know.
Okay, yes, but whenever you go on an interview, like I ain't going to prom. I'm gonna go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, like that's cool. Like nobody really cares. Like ain't nobody gonna be like, dang, Mikey wasn't at the prom. Like Twitter ain't gonna be like, oh.
I mean, uh, I bet all the 16-year-olds were like, "Oh my god, that's cool," you know, that type of thing. But yeah, I mean, I guess like I think people were saying like it's okay if you just don't want to go to prom. Like just say that, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's kind of. I thought that's kind of interesting. People were just kind of roasting him. I was like, I mean, it's whatever.
I wouldn't care if he's just like, nah, like that's not my thing. Cause like I only went to homecoming one of my 4 years. I never really cared for homecoming. But like the
Mhm.
fact he's like, I'm gonna go to the gym, like it just seemed forced.
Gotcha. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, Mike. Have you like kind of seen him around, Mikey? Like, have you?
Yeah, I mean I've seen him pop up on my Twitter.
Yeah, same. I think yeah. Someone was like, well, no, never mind. And then the world finds out what every like 15-year-old does in high school with Bronny. Like, did you see the video of him like smoking a joint or something?
Yeah.
Weed. I was like, whoa, okay. um, it's a 15-year-old in California. Like,
He's doing kid things, like whatever.
but how did that even get surfaced? Did he post it? I think he did.
I don't even know, but if he did, LeBron needs to have a talk with him.
Yeah, like you know what's gonna happen if you like post that. Yeah.
Nah, he'd be getting. He's not in the bubble right now, but he'd be getting a call from. If I was his dad, he'd be getting a call from me. We'd have him talk.
I mean, honestly, I feel like those kids are like acting up a little bit more just because he's not around.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been, well, yeah. I mean, if your dad's always been around and he's gone for like 3 months, of course you're gonna like do some dumb things. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. It's cool. Yeah, I'm interested to see just that generation of those players, Zaire, Wade, Bronny, and all of them. What do you think of the NBA so far?
We're gonna talk about the Clippers. We're beating around the bush here.
We can talk about the Clippers if you want.
Man.
Yep, it's pretty sad.
I'm down with them.
Done.
I'm done.
I'm done. I mean, I've been telling y'all about Paul George.
First of all, you ain't been told me. I hate Paul George just as much as you do.
I've been saying this for years. Everybody's been hyping up Paul George, and it's just so sick. Paul George has only been good for 3 months in the last like 6 years. That last year where like, remember like last year he was like, you know, Thunder were really good. he was like kind of like MVP talks. Like I got that. Like he was good for that first half of last year, but any time before that, after that, he hasn't been good since 2014 in that Heat series.
Since he left Indiana, he has done absolutely nothing.
And he wasn't even a top 10 player back then. Like he wasn't even like this. I don't know why he's been so hyped up for so long. He has never been a top 20 player for me, except for those 3 months of last year.
I've never considered him a breath in my top 10 like some
Yeah.
people. Like shoot, I'm putting Jimmy Butler over Paul.
Yeah, it's sick.
People's stock will have gone up this postseason without a doubt. Jimmy Butler and Jamal Murray.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Especially Jimmy Butler. Their team's only lost once this postseason.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? The Clippers. I will say I think this loss is probably the biggest upset since
2011.
2011. Yeah, LeBron versus Mavs.
Yeah.
Where like that team was supposed to win, like 99%, and then you lose like that.
People may disagree with me. I think it's a bigger choke job than 2011.
Choking wise, yes.
Failure wise, no. But choke job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They had what? Go ahead.
Because in 2011, the Heat at least lost to somebody who is a once-in-a-generation player like Dirk.
Mm-hmm.
These guys lost to young kids that have not proved anything.
Yeah.
And they had that. The one thing I can say about the Heat series is it was back and forth. The Heat only had a 2-1 lead. It wasn't like they were up 3-1 or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
These guys had, and they didn't finish in the fourth quarters in game 4, 5, and 6. Close games. These guys on the Clippers had double-digit leads in game 5, 6, and 7 and couldn't close the deal.
Yep. That's
crazy. In game 6, they were up 20-25 with 20 minutes to play, and the Nuggets won a 56-25 run.
Mm-hmm. That's absurd.
Also, what the hell was Paul George doing in that fourth quarter?
I don't know. I legit during game 6, I think, yeah, Clippers were up by like 20 at halftime, and I was doing something else. I don't know what. I think I was going out or something, and then someone texted me saying like, "Oh wow, the Nuggets are crazy," and I was like, "What happened?" I looked up the score and they won by like 15. I was like, "What in the world?" Like I was shocked, and yeah, it was 3 straight 15-point deficits come back from. I think Kawhi and Paul George combined for 0 points in that fourth.
Jamal Murray outscored Lou Will, Kawhi, and Paul George combined in game 7.
Oh my God. I was kind of getting on the Kawhi train, like a little bit. What?
Not me.
I was honestly about to start a conversation that I'm like, okay, you can't, no more. I'm not even going to go there anymore. But I was about to start a conversation of Kawhi being a top 10, top 15 player of all time. I was about to, yes, because if the Clippers had won game 5 against the Nuggets, they would have matched up pretty well against the Lakers. And I was like, they could probably beat the Lakers and then beat whoever in the finals. And Kawhi winning back-to-back championship, different teams, finals MVP. Like, that is extremely tough. You know? Like, that is a stat. So I was like, and he's got the 2014 championship, which isn't like that impressive. But like, I was about to start at least minimum top 15. Is he like one of the greatest players of all time? Because I honestly would put maybe him in a Wade Dirk category if he had won this year.
Okay.
that's extremely impressive. That's all I'm saying. Like, man, isn't that like, wouldn't that have been impressive? Like,
Okay, it would have been impressive, but I think what people overlook about Kawhi is his offensive stats have just elevated within the last 2 seasons. He was never that great offensively until the last 2 or 3 years.
yeah, I thought it
And so,
elevated every year.
well, I'm talking about like until we started talking about him like being like this 25 caliber player, 25
Okay.
point caliber type player. Like, he was averaging like his 17, 22, blah, blah, blah. But like his big leap of offensive game hasn't happened for the last, like, it just came into fruition the last 2 to 3 years. Like, the dude, he's not going to have as many career points probably as, Harden and all the other guys. And he was a starter before, James Harden was and stuff like that. So, like, that's where I can understand from, like, I think he won 2 defensive players of the years, if I remember right, or 1 at least. And, he has a final MVP twice, 1 with Toronto. But I do think he made the wrong choice by going to the Clippers.
Yeah.
I think his free agent choices, out of all the choices he had, I think he chose the worst scenario.
It was. I think he got convinced because Paul George was gonna go there.
No,
I think was that the story?
Yes. Who needs to take the heat is Steve Ballmer. You traded all those picks for Paul?
Mm-hmm. The Thunder are looking nice now.
Yes.
Like, seriously.
Like, it's crazy to believe that the team that Kawhi left, they both went out in the same game, same round. But Toronto only lost by 5 points. The Clippers got blown away.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, if Kawhi wanted to win championships, he would have stayed in Toronto.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Because they would have rolled through, honestly, in the East if they still had Kawhi. Because that's literally what the Raptors miss. They have everything else. They just don't have that dude,
And Pascal Siakam played bad that Kawhi would have made up for that.
Yeah.
Because they only lost by 5 points.
Yeah. Ugh, man.
Even like he had the Lakers, the Raptors, and the Clippers. And I get why he didn't want to go to the Lakers. He wanted to compete against LeBron, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, like you said, he would have been running like LeBron did for that decade in the East. That would have been Toronto.
Yeah. What was the other choices besides Lakers, Clippers?
Those are the 3 he narrowed it down to: Lakers, Clippers, Raptors.
I didn't think he was ever going to go to Lakers with Bron. I didn't think that was. Did you actually think that could happen?
No, just because I know how much Kawhi likes to compete against LeBron, even though he doesn't like to come out and say it. You can just tell that he turns into another level or another type of competitor when LeBron's across from him.
That'd have been one of those like unstoppable teams. That'd have been kind of a KD Warrior situation.
Here's my hot take now. Like, in my opinion, the Lakers have no excuse not to win the title this year. This is LeBron's easiest path to a title. By far.
Yeah. This is like, if he takes care of business, like, he could win. And it's crazy to me. I honestly kind of just thought LeBron would win another championship, this soon. I thought he would win one more just out of his career, just kind of by default, one of those. And I mean, if they win this year, I mean, they're gonna be favorites next year, and then Davis is getting better. So it's like, man, they could start a low key dynasty in a way. Like,
my thing. Yeah. I like go through and I look at like LeBron's title runs. I'm like, okay, you should have had 4 because you should have beat Dallas in 2011, whatever. 2015, you got unfortunate. You should have had a 4th there because of the whole, Kyrie getting hurt and Caleb got hurt in the Boston series, and so it was just him, and they took the Warriors to the 6 games. But now I'm like, look, everybody, I remember towards the beginning of the playoffs, everybody's like, this is LeBron's hardest path to a title because he has to go through Portland, Houston, Clippers, Boston, etc., whatever. And now I'm like, all right, well, You handled Portland in 5. You lost the first game, took care of your business. You did the same thing with the Rockets. The Clippers got eliminated. You have no business losing to a team with no rim protector. And then you are the heavy favorite, in my opinion, whoever comes out of the East, whether it's the Heat with the young guys that have never been there for the experience, and you have Jimmy Butler's number, or the Celtics. Like, this is, in my opinion, if they don't win this year, I don't know if LeBron wins another championship.
Nah, stop. Wait.
No. Like, I'm being like
You
dead
don't think he
serious.
could win if he doesn't win this year? You don't.
No, I'm saying.
Oh, you're saying like if he doesn't win this year, it's like it's going to get harder from here.
Yes. Because I'm like, the Warriors come back healthy. You don't know what the Mavericks are going to do this offseason. You don't know what Portland's going to do this offseason. Obviously, you have the Clippers coming back, fraudulent, whatever. You know, like, it's just the Rockets are going to try to do what they do.
Yeah.
We don't know. Like, it's like the West is, like, hard. So, like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he will never win one, but I'm just saying, like, this is the easiest path to get to 4, so we can think about 5.
Yeah. Yeah, the West will definitely get tough. I agree with that because, like, you throw in, you know, the Mavericks going to get better by default with Luka, and then Warriors will be back. And, I mean –
and don't forget the Warriors have a top 10 pick.
Yeah, number 2 pick.
Yeah. Top 2 pick, yeah.
And how was it? I know they're not that great, but the Timberwolves, I mean, they're kind of interesting. Like, what they got Russell and Cat. Don't they have like a 3rd pick or something? They have the 1st pick, actually.
Yeah, the 1st pick.
I know, you never know. But I was gonna say, heavy favorite. It just seems like the Lakers are just far out the better team. It just feels like it almost feels too easy. But I'm like, man, this narrative changed because like a couple weeks ago, everyone's like, oh, the Blazers, Damian could beat them. And then 5 games. Harden could beat them 5 games. It's just like.
Yeah, and like I was on that tandem towards the beginning of the season. I was like, how are you going to be able to beat AD and LeBron four times? And then like they started struggling right as like the bubble started, and like even right they lost that last game in the NBA season, the actual NBA season, to Brooklyn, and I was like, oh boy, here we go.
And here's the thing: we do this every year. This just shows LeBron's greatness, and that the whole East is easy narrative. The thing about it, he's so dominant that he makes it look easy. That's what it is. That's all it is. Yeah. I mean, if they like sweep the Nuggets or 4 and 5, it's just like, man, what else? It's so crazy. But the Clippers, what was it? The heavy favorite. The thing about the Clippers, this was their year. Like this, if they were gonna win any year, it was this year because they don't have any fans, so like that doesn't really like affect them. And the whole, if they played the Lakers, it would have been like 7 home games for the Lakers basically. They're gonna have to deal with that next year. So it's like this was the year. That's why I was like so surprised. Their depth was great, but didn't show up. So yeah.
Did you hear the excuses?
What?
Did you hear the excuses after Game 7?
Yeah. Especially Paul George. Like chemistry-wise, I was like, damn. Like you're saying y'all like championship or bust. Like, come on, man. You can't be doing that.
And then the report that they couldn't play more than 3 minutes because they were so gassed in the fourth.
Yeah, what was that about? Boo-hoo. What do you think the Nuggets are doing? Yeah, that was a weird report. Who cares? But I did see Stephen A. Smith try to compare Paul George to being the second coming of Dwight Howard. You see that? I was like, no. Dwight Howard is extremely better. I was like, I defend Dwight Howard because people forget his run. And so it's all it was nice. Did you see the Laker game last night?
Yes.
It was great seeing Dwight Howard just go crazy. I was like, man, this is nice. like, but yeah, I was like, y'all are not going to compare Paul George to Dwight Howard. Don't do that. But I saw that comment where I didn't know what to think about it, but I thought it was interesting. Draymond saying like the 2015 Warriors were like the toughest, or like what did he say? Like
the 2015 championship was the hardest one.
Hardest one. What did you think about that?
I didn't have a problem with it. I think it's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Even though I think if the Cavs would have had a healthy squad, they wouldn't have that championship. Mm-hmm. But I see a lie there, especially like your first championship's always the hardest because you got to teach yourself how to win.
Yeah. I mean, and it was definitely harder than like 2017 and 18. So I guess by default, it's like that. Let's see. What's wrong with the Celtics? 2 straight. They're like the new Clippers. 2 straight double-digit deficits or double-digit leads and then loss?
I think number one, Marcus Smart is shooting too much.
Yeah.
One.
Launching them.
Yeah. I'm just a believer in the playoffs. There are just bad matchups for you.
Yeah.
Like in 2011, the Mavericks were very hot, and they were a bad matchup for the Heat. They could drain threes. Nobody could really stop Dirk. It was just a very bad matchup for them. Mm-hmm. I think the Heat are a bad matchup for the Celtics. Because you have decent wing defenders. Obviously, Jimmy Butler's great. Jay Crowder. Jaylen Brown. He's inconsistent still. That's one thing I will still say about him. He's not as consistent. He's not as consistent as Jason Tatum is overall.
Yeah.
Also, I question Jason Tatum's shot selection at the end of Game 1 when he shoots a fadeaway 30-footer instead of trying to drive to the basket with the game.
Oh, yeah.
Before it goes into overtime, and then he gets that Game 1 block was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was. It reminded me of like the Tatum on LeBron dunk. Yeah, that was like the most last second block ever. You literally were just covering the goal. Mm-hmm. But the Heat are just amazing. They're so cool. They're like they can do anything. Yeah. What?
I love like the team assembly, like Hero and Duncan. You know, you got Jimmy, Jay Crowder, and Bam's really good. Like they just have. Remember how I say like sometimes like teams with above average pieces just like somehow are great. That's just them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bam is so cool. He is definitely unique. He is like the future. Like he is the center of like the future. Like being able to get a rebound. I mean, that's always been a thing, but
dribbling up the court, being the ball facilitator.
Yeah. Somebody was thinking, or was it Bam Adebayo? I think because like his shooting is getting better, and apparently he's like trying to get a 3-point shot. I'm like, wow, that's gonna be different. But then I was like, is Bam gonna be like? Because like Bam and Giannis are kind of like similar-ish in a way where like they're just lanky, tall dudes that can like get rebounds. But is Bam gonna be like Giannis with a 3-point shot in a way?
I think, and don't grill me for this. Obviously, he didn't have the 3-point shot, but he had a nice mid-range game. I think Bam could turn possibly more into like a Hakeem Olajuwon.
Hakeem, well, interesting.
He can develop the post moves. He's got decent footwork. I think he can, and he can be versatile from the outside. So that's just my thought.
it just seems like he has all the tools. Like he is. It's like a little bit like, man, this guy has extreme potential because he's just passing it everywhere, shooting. Yeah, when they say his shot's getting better every year, I was like, ooh, that's gonna be different.
Well, because like it was crazy because sometimes he would just get the rebound and like the guards would just romp the court because they let him control the ball. And I was like, when do we ever let centers just dribble the ball up the court?
Yeah, yeah. I saw. There's this play where Bam got the rebound, dribbled up the court. I think Dragic was posting up somebody, and then Bam like bounced past it to him, and then Dragic posted the guy up, scored. I was like, what in the world is going on? We have centers passing it into the post to a point guard. Like, I was just like, this is weird. But yeah, I was like, man, is Bam what we thought Giannis was going to be? Like, with the shot wise? Man,
What did you think of the MVP voting since he brought up Giannis?
MVP voting. It was okay. I was kind of surprised Luka got fourth. I was like, I kind of just said that just for fun, like, oh, top five. I was like, wow, he actually got fourth in voting. It's whatever. I mean, MVP. Man, it just looks horrible. When you win the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year and you're a second round exit, man, that's what I was saying. I was like, man, if you win back-to-back MVPs and you don't make the finals, there's going to be questions. Ugh. When is Giannis going to learn to shoot? When? We've been saying this for years. Free throws. It's been the same.
When Ben Simmons learns how to shoot.
Yeah, it's like Giannis is more like, I've been seeing these comparisons too. Like Giannis is more of a Shaq than like a LeBron or MJ type of thing. You know, like Giannis is a center. He's like a, what do you call it? He's limited on things. You know, he's not. You kind of know what I'm saying? Like he's more of a Shaq, big man type of player than more of a wing guard, LeBron, MJ, where everybody's trying to push him towards.
He functions better with like his back to the basket than like, just going straight up against somebody, pulling up.
Maybe instead of just learning how to shoot, which he's failed at for the last 3 years, learn how to just get even better post move wise, Maybe you should just go the other way. Just get, 30-point, 25 rebounds every game, So it's just something needs to change. I saw with like, I don't know if it was true or not, but like Giannis was very like very adamant about staying in Milwaukee. And I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is gonna be like if LeBron had stayed in Cleveland that first year and just stayed there, hopefully win a championship. This is gonna be like it's gonna be like that. Chris Middleton's not gonna get it done. Like, he's not gonna get it done. People keep trying to hype him up. I try to think he's a good player, but I just can't. He's not that good. But yeah, what do you think of Giannis?
Giannis, yes, Giannis and Devin Booker need to leave their situations. Point blank. But with Giannis specifically, I'm like, do I get like Shaq vibes? Do I get Magic Johnson vibes? Like, I don't know what to like feel about him. And like, you want to say you're the best player in the world, but you can't shoot a three, and you airball free throws.
Yeah. Yeah. His shot is horrible. Like, it's horrible. Yeah.
And like in the playoffs, defenses like collapse more to the paint, so he has less room to operate than in the regular season. So it's like, dog, they're begging you to shoot.
Well, yeah, they'll live with it. But like, don't you agree? Like the last 3 years, people are like, oh, Giannis is going to be unstoppable if he gets a shot, and it's just not going to happen. It's just
And
not.
and the question is, where it at though?
Yeah. So it's just like, let's just not ask that question ever again. He's not going to have a shot. He's not.
Because I remember like the whole like, well, remember like in the San Antonio series with the Heat, like they were backing off LeBron and making him shoot. And it's like, well, now if you do that, he's built a strap, so like he's
Yeah.
ready.
He adjusted. But that's the thing about Giannis.
He doesn't adjust.
It's not that hard to shoot.
He's one dimensional.
Why, like, it's just take us like the next 3 months. I would say even stop working on your post games and all that. Learn how to shoot more. Like if you shoot more, or if you learn how to shoot and that takes away from your like, post moves and all that, then live with it because that's not the game anymore. So yeah, if that side of you weakens, then that's okay. Like you got to shoot, and
Well,
especially if you're option number one. What?
I would even take it like a step further and be like, if the more you're making shots as a defender, I got to step up closer to you. So now you have the option to drive by me, pump fake and drive by me. So it's not going to go away. If you start making shots, it'll just make it easier for you to get layup and dunks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you brought up LeBron. Man, he adjusted crazy. Remember, I think a couple summers ago, like he was in that gym in New York, and they were showing highlights of him just like launching threes like at half court and like Steph Curry range. I was like, oh, he's adjusting. Because he was never like that at Miami or like even the second Cleveland stint. He was never like okay. I would say like the last season in Cleveland when he didn't have Kyrie. That was where I think he started. Was like, all right, I need to learn how to shoot. But yeah, Giannis is frustrating. It is frustrating. Um, it's nasty. Nasty. That team is just nasty. Wes Matthews? Why is Wes Matthews starting? He's clumsy. Yeah. Chris Middleton. Brooke Lopez. Why? Like he always like pops up in the playoffs. Like Brooke Lopez does not need to be the second best player on your team. It does not need to happen. Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad the Giannis hype is kind of gonna die a little bit. Remember when like Giannis like crowned himself?
Oh my God.
I loved it. I was like, yeah, I loved it. I was like, but you better back it up. So I was like, yeah, I was like, okay, I'm down for a Giannis LeBron finals, but nope. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. But let's
If
see.
you were to ever think at the beginning of the season that we'd be aiming, nothing's guaranteed, things can happen. We're aiming towards a Laker Miami Heat final. What would you say?
Uh, Wait, at the beginning of the year,
Yes.
that'd have been crazy, especially the Heat side. Um, because there's still a bunch of questions about Butler and all that. Butler, because they were fun last year. They were kind of like this way last year and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just staying up the top. Bam's emergence, along with Butler as well. Yeah, because Bam even got like an all-star game situation. Yeah, definitely crazy. It would Lakers Heat would be funny because like it'd be gets his former team,
Mm-hmm.
LeBron's former team. Yeah. What else? Lakers Heat.
I saw a weird stat the other day, or not like stat, it just like popped up. It was like the last time the Chicago Bulls made the playoffs was with Jimmy Butler. The last time the T-Wolves made the playoffs, it was with Jimmy Butler. The best playoff run of the decade for the Philadelphia 76ers was with Jimmy Butler. And now Miami's relevance is here since LeBron left is because of Jimmy Butler. It was just weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Jimmy Butler is he's one of those guys where I don't know what to like rank him because his stats aren't like out of this world or anything. Like I was looking up his stats and it's like he's a 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. That's not like crazy. That's not like top 10 material. But like he has that power with him. Yeah, he's one of those like he's not a stats dude type of thing. It's just like his presence alone elevates. So because I was like, is Jimmy Butler a top 10 player? I don't think so. It's weird, you know? like and especially this like speaks a lot to the team as well. Because the team is just great from 1 to 12. So I think that speaks a lot to it yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like in game one, Goran Dragic had like a 30-piece.
Yeah.
Game, like it's like a different dude every night for them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so like I was like trying to rank Jimmy Butler. I was like, I don't know, maybe he's in the 20s. I don't it's weird. I mean, would you consider him a top 10 player? If they made the finals, would you be like, oh, he's a top 10 player in the NBA? No.
No, because it's his first playoff run. Like,
yeah, so
his first deep playoff run, excuse me.
but you know people are gonna say that though. Like that's the thing.
It's just like we don't hear about quiet. Every summer there's something new about the NBA. Every summer.
It like it reminds me of when they were trying to like say Steph Curry's the best player in the NBA, 2015, 2016 era. I was like, yeah, he's great. I wouldn't say best player, but like remember it was like Steph over LeBron for sure. But like I was like, Steph's got a whole squad, like 1 through 12 type of thing. I mean, he's a top 5 for sure, but yeah, so yeah, it just speaks volumes to the just depth on that team. Jamal Murray, I'm trying to rank him, but his stats aren't crazy. I'll be very intrigued to see what he does next year. Like if he can keep this up. Yeah, so if he can keep up on a regular season basis. Yeah, so we shall see. You got anything?
No, I'm done with the NBA.
Oh,
was that pass interference?
Nah. And I didn't like how they called it at the end of the game. You know, like if it was obvious, like you know me, like or I guess everyone's like this. Like, don't let the ref call the game, decide the game at the end, unless it's like an obvious situation. Like that wasn't even like normal.
That was normal hand fighting.
Yeah, that was crazy. What that would put us like in field goal position?
Oh yes, that would put us like inside the 20.
Yeah.
It was a 47-yard completion.
What were we down by 3?
Yes, and we were trying to drive the tie or take the lead.
Yeah. Yeah, was it interference to you?
No. Jalen Ramsey sold that call.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely was acting, but yeah, it was weird having NFL games. Definitely weird. It's like very normal to see, but
So you gonna have a Dallas Stars watching party?
no watching parties. I don't even know where they are. I'll keep up. I'll watch. I'll actually watch. Yeah, I only know one guy on the team, Sagan. Sagan? I don't know how to say his name.
He said Sagan.
Tyler Sagan. Tyler Sagan. No, it can't. That's not how you say his last name. Sagan.
I feel like it's like Seguin.
Stop. Oh my God.
Tyler Seguin.
I'm such an old school. I know more past Stars players than now. I know Marty Turco, Mike Modano. Wait, Houston doesn't have a hockey team.
No, we don't care about hockey down here.
We don't care about hockey either. But so who do you? Okay, so are y'all like default Dallas Stars fans? I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting.
By default.
Do you like? Let's see. Do your Houston people actually talk about the Dallas Stars?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay.
I have people like on my Facebook that'll be like, the Stars are in the finals.
Okay. Yeah, I never thought about that. I guess that's like I guess, Houston people were Cowboys fans before the Texans.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, y'all should get a hockey team.
We had a minor league hockey team here whenever I was a kid, and you see it's gone now.
Oh. Yeah, Dallas kind of struggled with that too. We didn't have enough fans for a little bit. But
Yeah, I got all
what?
Yeah, I got all the fans now.
Yeah. Remember when Max Kellerman was like, yeah, hockey's not a major sport anymore. I was like, yes, Max. Hockey. Who we playing? The Islanders?
I think Tampa Bay, the Lightning.
Tampa Bay Lightning. That's right, Tampa Bay Lightning. Does New York have two hockey teams?
Yeah, the Islanders and
the Rangers.
The Rangers, yeah.
Rangers are like the team. I was like, who are the Islanders? Yeah, hockey. Have you been to a hockey game ever?
That preseason game that we went to in like 2015.
That's right. Yeah, you went to. I didn't.
Oh yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, that's how I regret.
What?
I regret going because hockey's so.
Weren't you like fifth wheeling?
Yes.
Yes, because I remember the picture that y'all took a picture or something, and it was like two date couples, and there was just you in the middle, and I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, that's funny. Do you remember that you third wheeled at a color run thing?
That was to this date. That was the dumbest. That was the dumbest $105 that I've spent.
You really did that. A color run.
I don't talk about
it. $105. My gosh. Nah. How long did y'all run?
It wasn't a color run. It was like a rave.
Oh.
It was a color rave.
EDM thing?
Yes.
Interesting. I guess I'm just saying name. Was Trey into EDM?
I don't know what that boy was into.
I know Trey's date was not in EDM. It's like maybe Trey thought it was a cool idea.
Yeah, no, it was a top 5 worst idea.
Yeah,
ever.
thinking back to that, I was like, yeah, Trey's date was definitely not into that. So I was like, why did she go? I guess just because of him. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah.
Never again. I don't want to go to no color rave again.
Yeah, you should go again just to see what it's like. See any differences.
Nah, you gonna spare me the 105? I don't think so.
Dang. Let's see what else. I guess last thing. I'm kind of tired, but I'm hungry.
Making bacon eggs.
No, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna get some barbecue.
Okay.
Yeah. What's it called? Well, that's what is it? Let's see. What was I gonna say? Was it? Oh, this thing. What do you think of the? Do you know anything about Ginsburg?
Yes, she passed away yesterday.
Yeah, but like her life.
No.
Okay. Because that's all I've seen. Like, oh, this woman was like led, which I'm sure she did, like led things and stuff like that. I was like,
I was like,
did everybody find like? start being an expert about her all of a sudden. I was like, wait, I'd like, but yeah,
I did.
R.I.P. Rest in peace.
Yeah, like I knew like she did, good things for this country, and I know now there's going to be a whole like, just like
Mm-hmm.
2016 turmoil whenever like they didn't let Barack Obama put another Supreme Court nominee in until after the election was over, and now we have it's a whole mess.
Yeah, like I think to our generation, she was to our generation, ignorant generation. She was the justice that was like hanging on, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like because like she's so old and there's just yeah, I know the like Democratic Party were very just like just hold on till 2020 or 2024 or something. Um, it's really interesting because okay, the thing about the Supreme Court justice situation is like I've always been a little hesitant about having the justice be like more than 5-4,
Mm-hmm.
but like divided.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when it's 6-3
Mm-hmm.
divided, I feel like that's kind of not. I mean, not scary or anything, but just like too one-sided. Isn't
Mm-hmm.
that? No one talks about it though. You know?
Mm-hmm. I have a problem with the Supreme Court. They're in there for life.
Yeah, it's such a huge thing, honestly.
And like I'm a believer in like we should have the right to vote for these Supreme Court justices.
Yeah. Um, I mean, it's almost as important, maybe, as like president.
And I might make the argument it's more important than the president.
Yeah.
Because they control whether things are unconstitutional or constitutional. Big bills come to them every single day. I think it's, in my opinion, it's the most vital position we have in our government, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Um, because I remember, yeah, I remember in 2016, I remember it was 5-4 Democrat, and I was like, it will be interesting if Clinton wins because she would get another. I think someone from Republican side was ending, and it would have been a Democrat 6-3 Supreme Court sided. I just think that's just like tough.
I would perfectly be fine with the system. Like, I don't know if I'd say perfectly fine. If it was like more like, whoever wins the presidency, they get the, like one upper hand. Like they get the 5 Supreme Courts to the 4, like something like that. Instead of
Yeah.
like, you're in there for life until you either die or retire. Like, that's a lot.
Seriously. I mean, it's like a let
She
like
had been,
let's imagine, let's say, because like what Trump's already put in 2 people.
I think this would be his second. I
I
think
think it's actually 2 because he
this
put
would
in
be his
one in
third.
2017, and then
Okay.
2018 was Kavanaugh situation.
Yeah, so this would be his third.
So if let's say if I don't think it will, but if he passes this one before the election, that's 3 justices
In his first term.
in his 4 years. Like, but it's all like kind of a luck situation. So
Exactly.
that's why I'm kind of like, I don't want these situations to be based off luck. Like, I don't want human politics based off luck.
Based on
So
life or death. Be like, this person just happened to die this day.
yeah, so
Or
that
retire.
is interesting. Maybe having, so I just feel like there needs to be some type of guidelines for the Justice Supreme Court nomination system. Like maybe something where each term is one nomination.
Yeah. Or I was also looking up like the things that are coming up to be voted on. Like I saw right after the election, Obamacare is being voted on.
Hmm. Yeah.
So like we have like big stuff coming up to like be voted on. So it's just interesting. I just feel like there needs to be term limits for everybody in our branch of the government. I feel like
Yeah.
being a politician is a servant job, and I feel like everybody needs a time expire because like Ginsburg was in there for like 30, 40 years. Like Clarence Thomas, he's the only black guy up there, the black Republican. Like he's been there for forever too. Like all these guys stay there for forever, and I'm just like, no, like we need new ideas, we need newer minds. Like we just need that.
Yeah, for life is crazy. But yeah, that's something I've always like been confused on, like why no one really talks about that. Like it's interesting. So you were saying something about 2016. This is like a similar situation.
Mm-hmm.
Who did somebody step down or pass away before the 2016 election?
I think somebody stepped down, if I remember right. I'm not exactly sure, but they wouldn't let President Obama elect who he wanted to elect because they kept putting it off until the election, and then Trump got in and Trump put in.
How long was it, or how before the election was it? Like, what did it happen like 3 months before?
No, it was like 6 months.
Oh,
something like that. Like it wasn't as close as this one, that's for sure.
Why didn't they do anything? 6 months.
Because they wanted to hold on. They wanted to hold off until the election.
Why?
Because if Trump got in, they could put in a Republican nominee.
Oh, I meant like why didn't the Democrats push?
They did. They just didn't have the majority.
Do the Republicans right now have the majority? No.
Yeah.
Oh. Wait, majority of what?
It is. They own right now. I think they the branch that votes for the
Supreme Court, like Senate, House.
Yeah. Whatever Mitch McConnell's in, they have the majority of that, which I think is the House.
Okay.
Something like that. But whatever Mitch McConnell's in, whether he's in the Senate or the House, I don't remember at the current moment. That's who votes.
Okay. Yeah, because it's always a pattern, honestly. Like if let's say Trump gets reelected, he'll be what you call it, lame duck. The last 2 years, it's all that always happens. Just politics patterns. Yeah. So, and there's such a strategy with that justice system. Like, there's a couple where I noticed where like they stepped down 2 years before the election, and like they just kind of renewed the person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. We'll see. Do you see the room or like the idea of Joe Rogan moderating a debate?
Yeah, I did see that. He also had an incident this week. I guess I saw him apologize on Twitter for like misspeaking about something.
Yeah. Joe Rogan, whenever he kind of like is involved in politics or like the news, they try to make him look bad. You know how that works, kind of smear campaigns. But man, if they let Joe Rogan moderate, or even, I mean, I know they even asked, they didn't ask, but another idea popped up, Charlemagne.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Rogan and Charlemagne, the reason why I like those people is because they're very non-biased in their questions. Like they take their personal biases out when they're asking questions to certain people, you know? And people just don't really do that anymore. And so it would be very interesting if they had those people debate with those type of moderators.
Mm-hmm.
Because those moderators ask what the people want. You know, they don't like beat around the bush or anything. So, would you be down for that?
Heck yeah. Let me get in there. I can not put my personal biases aside. Let me in there and let me ask questions. That's what I do for a living.
Yeah, it's that would be great for the country to see. Let's see. You sad about Cardi B and Offset's divorce?
No.
No, you're not sad?
No.
Do you see it coming?
Let's see. My take on it is Cardi B can find another Offset, but Offset can never find another Cardi B.
It was just a mess from the start. I mean, I think Offset proposed like 8 months in. So, and they're all like in their middle of their careers. Let's see. Do you got anything you want to vent?
I don't know. I'm living good right now. I ain't got nothing to complain about.
Cool. I guess wrap it up a little bit. Got song of the week or shout outs?
Shout out Uno Minimalista, the new Uno version, the dark version.
What'd you say?
It's called
Uno. Say that again.
It's called Uno Minimalista.
Minimalista.
Yes.
What is that? Like what's
So
minimalist?
yeah,
thing?
so like they made it like dark and like, you know how like the old Uno cards are like very bright and like out there. Like,
Yeah.
these ones are sleek and dark and like mysterious.
Okay.
So shout out to my girl for buying it for me. It just came in the mail today.
Interesting.
Let's see. Shout out Penske. They're making me work on Thanksgiving.
Dang, what? Trash. Just bring your plate.
That's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna say
How many hours?
8
like
hours.
A normal day?
6 to 2.
Dang. 6 to 2. Oh, I mean, not horrible. But at least it's not all day.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's short, but it's 8 hours of work, so it ain't that bad. I'm just gonna have my phone, and there won't be many customers. There'll be a ghost town in there. Just gonna have my phone up there, and I'm just gonna watch some NBA games and have my charger.
Oh yeah.
Wait, will the NBA be back by
NFL.
then?
No.
Oh.
NBA will probably be back December. All right. Song of the week. I'll put Sons and Critics Freestyle by Baby Keem, the next Kendrick Lamar. He's Kendrick Lamar's cousin anyway, so I think I've told that to you. Let's see. Shout out the Joe Budden podcast. Today was our last episode on Spotify. Have you kind of like heard much about that?
I've heard bits and pieces.
Yeah, it's a mess. But they're basically ending their Spotify contract today, and they're going to be independent now. They're going to be like on YouTube only. So, so that's going to be interesting to see what they do. All right, I think that's about it. So, all right, well, appreciate you coming through. Thank you for watching. Peace. Have a good week.
Time to go write this paper. Peace.